Hello and welcome to Morning Fuel. I am your host, John Bundy, and you are here because you believe in the power of the spoken word and its ability to change lives, and that by sharing our stories, we can help others overcome challenges that they cannot overcome. Whether it's a victory you need to win in business or in your own personal life, you understand that the answers can be found in listening to others who are willing to share their stories, knowing that their story ultimately doesn't belong to them. All right, today's guest works for a franchise group that has expanded into Newport News, Virginia. When asked what her favorite thing about her job is, she said she loves her job because of the ability it gives its associates to utilize their artistic abilities, and that their products are free of harsh paraben and chemicals, and they also offer customization of their products as well. A few of her methods for keeping productive are having fun while educating customers on their products, and also sharing a peek of what's being made in the store that day. She loves the fact that guests get a chance to see how products they're purchasing are being made. Advice she offers others aspiring to succeed as business owners is being open-minded and adaptable to change, and guest and employee satisfaction are equally important. Please help me in welcoming to the show, new store development manager for Buff City Soap, Melissa. Really great to have you here. I've been looking forward to this for like a couple months now, I think, so
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, good stuff. So how's things going over at Buff City Soap?
Well, we have officially been open since May, so we're barely going to hit that 6-month mark, but it's been great. Every day that I'm in the store, when I'm in town visiting the store, I get to interact with guests that still have not yet visited prior.
What? Okay, so you're always seeing new people every time you go in. That's great.
Buff City Soap is completely new to the peninsula of Virginia. So in where we're located at, it's a nice shopping center, but I know that people come from the outer skirts of Newport News to come shopping. So for instance, today when I was in the store, it was really great because I probably interacted with about 10 guests. And when I asked them if they'd been there, they had not. And I'm like, this is my opportunity.
Absolutely. Yeah, that shopping center, I knew it well, and I saw Buff City Soaps, being developed and kind of built. They built out from the inside, right, and the sign and everything, because our favorite grocery store, Trader Joe's, is right over there, and all that. So yeah, lots of cool stuff. So welcome to the neighborhood.
Thank you.
And we met at one of many networking groups or meetings. We probably met at like an after hours before anything else. Yes. I know there was it was back in the day, and they're getting ready to have another one, Strictly Business, a year ago.
Yes,
I'm excited. And that's where I think I first met you, or I either met you like the day before at another, networking meeting or something like that. So what about that 212? You've taken it a couple groups and you've made some friends?
Yes, it's kind of nice because, I do live in Knoxville, Tennessee. That's where my franchise office is located at. So I do travel for work, and one of the many places I travel on a regular basis is Newport News. This is kind of like my baby away from home.
Okay.
So in the networking, I've had the opportunity to not only get to know the surrounding area and what Newport News has to offer, but I've also had the opportunity to make some great friends. So Every time I come back into town, I have people to go to dinner with.
Looking forward to hanging out.
Yes, I get to pop into a 212 meeting. I get to go to an after hours or coffee connection with the chamber. So I get to keep in touch with those connections.
Right. Now, so is there something different for you about Newport News? Now, you've started, maybe managed other businesses elsewhere. Is there something different about Newport News or this area, or what?
I can't say that there's anything different about Newport News. It's just a new opportunity for our business.
Oh, gotcha.
And my franchise owner, we have people that actually scout out locations for us based on, surrounding income, right, households, business, infrastructure, and those types of things. So, they kind of handpick where we're going to have locations at.
Yeah. So now I never really knew this when I was younger. See, I moved here from New York in like 88. So I was like 17 years old. And I didn't realize it until really I started getting into business and networking like that. Newport News is very much, and this area, Hampton Roads, is very much a melting pot. Because of the military bases, you have people from everywhere. I mean, literally everywhere, every country and every state. Somebody goes in the military, they get stationed here, Norfolk Naval Base or over at Fort Eustis or Langley Air Force Base. It's just crazy how many, and come and go. you got a turnover of people here as well. So
Oh, definitely. I've had the chance, every day I meet new people. And there's that saying, you never met a stranger. That's how I feel when I talk to people. I'm in line at the grocery store. I'll talk to people just to spark up conversation so it's not so dull while I'm waiting in line. And because the Buff City Soap franchise, its corporate founding store was actually founded in Western Tennessee in the Memphis area.
okay.
So
That's the birthplace of the soap too, is that?
of Buff City Soap.
Okay,
Yes. So
cool. You said a husband and wife team.
yes, a husband and wife team. They started making soap in their garage one day, and they turned it into a business, and then they made a storefront right outside the Memphis area in Bluff, Tennessee, and they actually called it, I believe, Bluff Soap or Bluff City Soap, and then they took the L out, and
Okay.
now it's Buff
Oh,
City
cool.
Soap.
I love the origin story, stuff like that. So when did you first get in contact with them? I mean, what part of their life was it? The life of the business.
So when they started making soap in their garage and turned it into a business, it's actually a husband and wife duo that was a firefighter in EMT. So, and they decided to start putting their creative juices into soap.
Okay.
And
Bunch of hippies.
I guess so. But very cool people.
Yeah, I was kidding.
And
I love hippies.
and they started franchising out the business after getting a few stores out, and whatnot. And they started franchising in 2019. So my franchise owner, I work for a franchise group.
Okay.
So I started my retail. I've been in retail for about 20 years. So my retail history goes back to starting in clothing years ago.
What store? What
Maurice's.
Okay, so
It's still around. It's usually in shopping centers or shopping malls. And then I've relocated a few times in my life.
Okay.
So I grew up in South Texas until I was 15. Moved to Michigan. My dad was in the oil field. Relocated to Michigan.
Okay.
Lived in Michigan for 9 years. And my husband relocated to Kentucky for his job.
Gotcha.
So relocated to Kentucky.
So that's where you ran into
tanning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, because I noticed your email address.
Yes.
And I got confused.
Yes. So the franchise group I work for is a multi-branded franchise group.
Gotcha. So they do
consisting of
tanning.
primarily tanning salons.
Okay.
And
now the connection is
yes, and gyms, a few Planet Fitness gyms, and
okay.
soap stores now. So
Sure, kind of all goes together.
My owners decided to expand their portfolio and dive into the buff world because my owners live in Tennessee. So great things grow fast, and Buff City Soap came to be. So I went from a transition of being a multi-unit district manager in tanning I was with tanning up until earlier this year, but I've been part of the Buff brand since 2019. So for a few years, I was doing both.
Hold on a second. You love what you do.
I absolutely do.
Okay. It's the people, and even maybe some of the drudgery. You just get through it because you love everything else, kind of stuff.
It is. I thrive off of being part of the big picture. I thrive off of knowing that I'm part of a huge growth process. Yeah. I thrive off of developing people and watching them grow into elevated roles and succeed. So, even though I primarily help with opening our new stores, this is like my baby, so to speak. Yeah. It's still part of my multi-unit district manager life that I've had for so long, where it's so far away from our home base that I don't mind driving.
That's fantastic. I heard it said recently, and you reminded me of that, and that is, it's way better to be a little part of a big thing than it is to be a big part of a little thing.
Correct.
So yeah, that's fantastic.
It's great. My owners know my name. It's not like I'm a number.
Right.
Working for a franchise group is so different than working for a big corporate conglomerate because I feel there's a little bit more connection, there's a little bit more care, there's a little bit more involved. I don't feel like I'm just bypassed as somebody on somebody's payroll.
Sure. So how many stores are in Buff City?
So we are 220 and climbing, company-wide. 220? Company-wide. Within the franchise I work for, my franchise group, we have 23 tanning salons. I'm sorry, 25 tanning salons. We just opened our 23rd store this year.
Okay.
Of Buff City Soap brand, and 5 Planet Fitness gyms spread throughout. So, but we do have, there are plans, after this year ends and we get past the busiest shopping season of the year to continue to hopefully expand the brand.
Very cool.
Next year.
Very cool. So what do folks have to look forward to when they first walk into Buff City Soap? So I mean, just kind of take us through that whole experience. Now you love it. I know you did. You brought some soap with you, I'm pretty sure.
I did. I brought you some gifts.
You're amazing.
To try the whole Buff City Soap thing, but the first part of anybody's experience walking in the store, and it was my first, and I will remember it, is when I walked in and we were my franchise group. We had built our first store in Knoxville,
right.
And day before getting ready to open, I go in and I'm like, it hits me.
Oh,
the smells. It was in one of our slogans. It smells wonderful, and it truly does. When you walk in, there's just this very inviting, home-like you feel comfortable shopping there. You feel comfortable walking in. It's a very friendly place to be.
Okay. Now you also mentioned, and I mentioned it in the intro too, and interesting to me, folks actually get to watch the soap being made.
Yes.
That is dope.
So a little bit about Buff City is all our products are made in store. All our products are customizable. So if people want to come in and somebody says, hey, I have my daughter's baby shower and I want to do gifts for the guests attending, I would like 2 loaves of soap made with pink, and want it to be pink and white, and I want it to smell like this.
No joke.
I'm like, okay, give us about a week. We'll have it made and we'll have it cut and banded for you, and we'll have it ready to pick up on whatever date that we agree on. And we just made something curated specifically for
That's fabulous.
So everything's customizable, but we have our makery counter. So when you walk in and you're shopping around and looking, you can stop by and see what they're either packaging, making, pouring as far as soaps go. So when we say handmade daily, we truly do mean it.
Wow, very cool. All right. So again, this is, Buff City is a big part of your life right now. I mean, you're invested in it, and this show really is about the people. Businesses are about people, right? We do business with people that we know, like, and trust. So part of what we do here is we introduce, folks like you to people that are listening. And what would you say is, let's go back to beginning in sales. What were you inspired by someone or something that kind of got you into that? Or was it just a job?
At first, at the very beginning, it was just a job. I was still in I was barely 21 at the time when I started retail. I was 20 years old and I'm 40 now. So I truly have been in retail for 20 years. And every 20-year-old, most of them are still trying to figure out what they want to do with their life.
Sure.
And it was that
even some 50-year-olds are trying to figure out what they want to do. So. And
I was at Maurice's and I got trained on how to unload stock, and then they taught me how to do the cash wrap, and then I'm like, okay, so now we're going to dig into the guts of what we're doing here. Our job is, when somebody comes in shopping and they're looking for a blouse to wear to work, our job is to dress them head to toe. Okay, cool. I can put things together. And the first time that I had that light bulb gratification feeling.
Oh, sure.
Was when someone came in and they're like, hey, I'm looking for an outfit for an interview, and I need something. Can you help me out? And I'm like, okay, I could still to this day look at someone and guesstimate their size. And I'm like, okay, I'm thinking you're a size this. Okay, let me get you a blouse, shoes, a belt, the accessories, all the things. And they'd go in and they were just very satisfied. Like, how did you know that this would look good on me?
Right.
And so it's always just the gratification of knowing that the guest satisfaction is there, and
sure.
I made their day. I helped.
What a great feeling!
Part of it.
What a great feeling when you do a job and you do it well.
Yes.
That's amazing. That's cool. So then, would you say at that time you're like, oh dang, I want to do this. Like, this is what I and how did that convert to other businesses aside from, clothing?
So I worked for Maurice's for a few years until me and my husband relocated to Kentucky for his job. I could have ran the store back. It literally, within a month of us moving, we had already, our house was on the market. Everything was already packed. And they're like, the store's going to be opening. The current manager's relocating. We'd love you to take it. And I'm like, well, I'm moving to Kentucky. I'm moving to bourbon capital of the world, Bardstown, Kentucky. So I actually transferred with Maurice's as an assistant manager.
Oh, so they had Maurice's there.
Yeah, it's a national chain. Okay. So I transferred with them in Bardstown, Kentucky. It's about 40 minutes south of Louisville, Kentucky. And it is truly the bourbon capital. That's where all the big bourbon distilleries surround this little town. And there was Maurice's there, and I'm like, okay, well, great. I will work here. I'll transfer. No need to start a new job, learn anything new. I love what I do. Great. Well, in the same strip center was Suntan City Tanning Salon.
Sure.
I'm going to go check this out. And
well, you went to check it out just for tanning, not for working. Okay.
And I got to know that, it's the type of place where you get to know your clients. So they got to know me as a person. And the girls would, on their break or after work, come shopping at Maurice's. So I'd see them a lot. And then one day the manager's like, would you ever like to work at my salon? And I'm like, well, I work here full time. I've been doing this for about, 4 years or so. And well, if you ever want just part time, I'd love to have you. I'm like, well, I'm in a new town. Me and my husband have no friends, no family.
Free tanning.
Free tanning. Yes. Free tanning. Oh, I don't have to pay my $50
yeah, I went to work at Chick-fil-A. I went to work for Chick-fil-A the first time because Sunday's often free food when I worked there. So I was like, okay, I'm down.
Yeah. I was like, no more $50 a month membership. Great. So, and we had no friends or family. So, and my husband, he works for Gordon Food Service. So at the time when we moved, they were building their new distribution center, getting it started. So he was working tons of hours. And I'm in a town where I don't know anyone. I have no connections except the people I work with. So I'm like, I need to keep myself busy. I'll work one night a week. Well, the district manager shopped at Maurice's of Suntan City. Oh. And she knew I worked there. And she pretty much said, hey, I've seen you're a natural coach. You are a natural salesman. She's like, I went in there looking for pants because I needed a long inseam. And $250 later, I have a few outfits for work. So she said, Suntan City is a growing brand. This is exploding. And it was exploding at the time. It was just starting to they just started franchising at the time.
Cool.
So I took a leap of faith and said, I like what I do part-time. I might as well like it full-time. Yeah. So I went to Suntan City full-time.
Very cool.
And within about 2.5 years, I worked my way up to a district manager.
Fantastic.
And then the rest of my time, I was a multi-unit manager. And then I relocated again.
Right.
Stuck it out with Suntan City. I worked for corporate Suntan City then when I relocated to Tennessee.
Okay. Now, you said Suntan City is part of the franchise group. So it was kind of what like a lateral move to just another company or whatever? Okay.
Yes. So I worked for Suntan City, for 12 years. At the time when I moved to Knoxville, Tennessee, I worked for corporate, and I was like, well, there's Suntan Cities in Knoxville. I'm going to see if I can get an interview with the franchise director and whatnot. So she interviewed me, and then a couple of weeks later, she's like, Jamie, the owner, would like to interview you as well.
Cool.
So he interviewed me, and my boss interviewed me, and they're like, well, we don't really have room for you, but we know your experience, and we'll make room for you.
That's great.
So here I am.
That's really cool.
And now I work for a franchisee of not just tanning, but soap and gyms. So we are literally, what's that thing on Jersey Shore? Gym, tanning, laundry.
Yeah,
that's
there you
what
go.
We do, GTL.
That's right. We use some of your laundry detergent. That was a gift too. Thank you so much. My wife loves it. That is so cool. I love these stories. I love origin stories. I like to hear about that. And the amount of stuff we learn along the way. So again, kind of back to like inspirations and things like that. I noticed you mentioned a quote from Zig Ziglar, and then a book that was kind of like inspiring for you. What would you say is your most revisited? You read, right? I mean, you're a reader.
I read off and on.
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you have a book that you just kind of have that you revisit?
I don't technically revisit. I'm one of those people, like, sometimes I take notes. I'm a note taker.
Yeah.
And I tend to retain things from taking notes versus
Sure.
full on just reading. So I'm a note. So I like to revisit my notes sometimes, but I won't ever fully revisit a full on read.
Gotcha.
But recently, my ownership group, they gifted all of their district managers and upper leadership teams. We went through a session. I don't know if you've heard of Rob or John Schallenberger.
Sounds familiar, probably because I read that on in your notes.
And I just finished the 8-week course where every week for an hour and a half, we got to sit with people on a Zoom call from throughout the United States and got to go over this Becoming Your Best course. That resonated with me a lot because I'm very open to growth and very open to feedback. And there was so many aha moments from that.
Right.
Like, just sometimes just having to take a deep breath. I know I'm busy. I know I travel for work. I know there's a lot going on, but sometimes it's okay to just say, take 5 minutes for yourself. And we did this exercise on a Zoom call. Everybody had to close their eyes and literally just take a big deep breath for about 5 seconds, hold it in, and then just let it go.
Mm-hmm.
And I was amazed at how little of a tiny little minute few seconds of meditation just like completely settled me.
Yeah. So is that now a common practice where you just kind of take that 5 seconds and do that? Yeah, it's amazing.
And I'm like, wow, it didn't take no time at all, but it just kind of leveled me out and said, okay, you're good.
Wow. So really cool to get to know you. So let me ask you this. So, well, before I ask my last question, how do folks contact you, connect with you for hiring perhaps, or just to kind of learn more about you and what you do in Buff City Soaps?
So my email address, it's Melissa, MELISSA @suntancity.com.
That's what it was.
I have my OG email. I know a lot of people are like, I do have a Buff City Soap email as well. I check it every day. But
forward from.
Yes, I do. But if anybody wants to, if they feel more comfortable with the Buff City Soap email, it's melissa.myers, MYERS, @bcsmakery.com.
Yeah, see, the other one's easier to remember. So that's good. I got you now. I got you. See, I mean, there's all reasons for all this stuff, right? So cool. So last question is, so right now, what does Melissa Myers, what do you need to do your job better? What would you think would help you to do your job better? Who do you need to know? What does maybe even Buff City Soaps need right now?
Right now, it's simply getting out in the area more, I guess, getting our name out there, getting our word out there, because it's not just a new business, it's a new type of business.
Sure.
And so that's why I'm so involved with networking. We are actually, for anybody that's listening, we are doing a corporate Christmas gifting program. So if anyone is interested in giving gifts to their employees or their clients or their guests, it is not something we're offering in store.
Oh, okay.
So if anyone's
online?
No, it is not online. It's something that we actually market for weekly up until the end of November.
So it's not on the menu.
It is not on the menu. It's special, exclusively curated for business owners or business heads that like to do those things for their guests or their employees.
Cool.
So if you have my contact information, contact me.
Yeah, it'll be in the show notes and all that. Very, very cool. Well, I guess a couple more things. One is looking forward to seeing it Strictly Business. My wife and I will be there. We're excited about that. And then also Yorktoberfest is another thing. I don't know if you know much about it. Do you know? Or you know? Yorktoberfest is a festival that's happening. It's a beer festival happening in Yorktown on November 6th. They actually had a rain date. So they postponed it 2 weeks. I would say go. You would meet so many really, really happy people. Really, really happy people. Cool. Well, Melissa, fantastic. Great to get to know you. I can't wait to bring the ladies back by Buff City Soap, and then just getting this out there, letting folks know in the area about it, and I mean, of course, they're going to see you and how excited you are about it. They have to go.
Yes.
So awesome stuff. Oh my gosh, and I got some gifts. I can't wait. My ladies are going to love that. But thank you so much for being on.
Thank you.
Really appreciate you.
I enjoyed it.